Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Papa facility for another exciting episode of PAPAtv Live. We hope everyone's been having a great Labor Day weekend in the United States and having a great weekend throughout the world. And we're going to play some Walking Dead and some Stingray tonight. Joining me in the booth this evening, I have Chris Stevens and Dan Hall. How you gentlemen doing this evening?
Very good, thanks.
Doing well.
And to get prepared for The Walking Dead, we ran out and got some supplies. I got some weapons, a little bit of food, and some bandages. Hopefully we won't need any of these as the players walk their way through this wonderful Stern game.
Hopefully they don't get bit tonight, Petey.
Don't you get extra points for getting bits?
You do, but you are also done.
Oh. Shame.
Hopefully we'll see lots of multi-balls and not much biting.
Yep, we'll get some points, we'll get some things, and hey, what's going to help us lead into this? Let's go to the keys of the game if we can. All right, so The Walking Dead. First off, we're going to search for supplies. There's a 3-back of drop targets on the left, and these drop targets have 3 separate categories. There's first aid, weapons, and food. If you collect enough of the supplies, by knocking all 3 down, you basically collect it. And then if you get them all, you light the dead features, which are basically the modes. From left to right, the modes are Barn, CDC, Riot, Tunnel, and Arena. You start modes, you collect the mode points by hitting the appropriate shots. But also, these drop targets are very important because collecting one of each supply will qualify Bloodbath Multiball on the next completion. After that, we've got the Prison Break-In. Shooting the prison spell prison, imagine that. And once you complete prison, you then shoot it one more time to basically start it. Then it lights all shots red, so you can basically kill a walker on every single shot, but you can also be awarded a completion of a walker by hitting up the middle on and basically hitting the prison. Once you destroy all the walkers, hit the prison to start, prison walker multi-ball. And last up, we've got Well Wishes. Shoot the well walker, and that will spell well. Once well is spelled, you'll then see on the back glass where it looks like you're pulling the well walker up. There's also a number that tells you how many well walker shots you need in order to start your well walker multi-ball. Hitting the well walker the appropriate number of times that you see displayed will start your well walker multi-ball.
This is a challenging game. It's a lot of out-of-control play with these shots, as we will be seeing the players. And stepping up to start the game is John Replogle.
John, welcome.
As we've been starting the episodes off lately, you're walking up to Walking Dead. What's the first thing you want to do?
Be the world champion.
Well, you're already that, besides that.
Now, first thing I'm looking at, this is a chess game. Walking Dead is very much a chess game. It is one of those games where it is more subjective what I'm going to go for based on what other players are doing if I was playing competition. If I'm just walking up to have fun, I'm going to play modes, get some Bloodbath, and see if I can stack that with a prison multi-ball. And, you know, go where it takes me, because this much is sort of a choose-your-own-adventure or it'll choose your adventure. And yes. I know this one's playing tough, so it might choose my own adventure right out the outlane.
It might choose an outlane.
Oh, it
That's
definitely
so
will
true.
at some point.
Even the friendliest Walking Dead plays pretty tough.
I really can't think of the last time I played a Walking Dead and I said, geez, that was friendly.
Yeah.
And there's the first risk with Walking Dead right out of the gate. You are forced to plunge into the pop bumpers. There's no soft plunge. And it's going to come out that right lane and be out of control almost immediately.
Well, that's how the cookie crumbles.
That was all it took for John to use his ball save and then lose his ball. Now, the funny thing about the way that you can play this game is, yes, there are 3 shots, or that's 2, really, that feed the pops, that put the ball coming from that really, really risky feed. And that would be the left orbit, which is the barn shot. It would also be the shot that's 2 over. That would be the riot shot.
I've done better than John so far.
Yeah, so far he's in the lead. Keep it up, man.
I guess for ramps are the only safe thing to go for.
That's
right.
Table.
Yeah.
I mean, even the prison, the well walker, Those magnets will throw it straight down the middle half the time.
Yeah, and
down the outlane the other half.
It it adds a relativity of randomness to a made controlled shot. But it's a very big risk, big reward game. Oh! The ball came back from the dead, and he was just so
he just let that
towards the sideline.
He let the zombie eat him. The zombie gave him a second chance.
Oh, I gotta clip that later. That was all right. The chat has a lot of things to say, like, wow.
Walking away
and just
when you
complete
think.
silence from the chat room right now. That was insane.
That was beautiful.
That was beautiful.
That's my signature move.
Never walk away from the game until your bonus counts down.
Keep those hands on the flippers, everybody, because you really never know. And I like how he started off by saying, I'm doing better than John. Well, now he's not.
Now,
Stats,
Jake,
that was
with
rough.
the very impressive 0-point ball save there.
And that's it.
That's all.
Yep, and that's
Nice.
it.
All right.
All right, everybody. We've saved the best for last.
Yeah, there you
Bringing
go.
you up, Evan Bookbinder.
So I've watched 3 balls, and I don't feel very good.
Now, you own one of these, don't you?
I do. I own this exact model, and
This
clearly
model?
You do
mine,
own the Pro?
Yeah, but
Can you give us a little rundown as the differences between this model and the Premium and LE?
sure. So the premium LE models add, I think, 4 basic feature differences. One is a pair of spinners that don't exist on the Pro version, which
Similar
I think
to
is
Metallica, right?
Right, so which can be pretty lucrative in some of the switch-based modes.
Oh, yeah.
The other next is the drop target in front of the Woodbury shot, so you can't just hit it clean. You've got to take down the drop target first. And the 2 big overall changes are the left ramp lifts up on the Premium LE featuring the Bicycle Girl shot, which is kind of a bit different because on this model you can kind of left ramp loop and get into a nice flow during the Bicycle Girl mode, which you can't do on the Premium LE. And I guess there's 2 other features.
How about a crossbow?
The crossbow.
Yeah.
On this model, it's just use your flipper as if it were a crossbow. And on the Premium LE, it's a physical, mechanical crossbow that moves left and right across the playfield. And there's actually a button here on the lockdown bar that you would use to fire that ball as if it was firing a crossbow.
That button is a lot of fun.
Pretty cool. And that button actually is probably the biggest change on the Premium LE.
Agreed.
Which stores bombs, basically, that you can use to pick off shots, start multi-balls, and do all sorts of things.
All right. You want to...
But I personally like this version better because you don't have to think about the buttons and other things that aren't part of the playfield. So.
Yep, you just play pinball.
So my strategy... I usually like to get the prison door open because if you don't take those 2 shots off the bat to open it, or in this case, fake open it, that resets each ball. So I at least like to get that progress done and then take out the drop target bank and try to start a mode. So,
Well, from what we've seen, it's hard enough getting the ball on
I
the flipper.
see that.
So let's see what you can
I
do.
got half a skill shot.
Oh, you mentioned the skill shot there. This game has a very unique skill shot.
That's not what I wanted to
When
do.
John comes up with his next ball, we'll talk about it more.
He's getting some good control to start. I mean, this has potential to be the best ball one so far.
Oh, and I missed.
Oh, easy.
Okay, now the angle of his shot there didn't allow the
I
magnet to
wasn't
grab his
stopping
ball
that.
for prison, but he did complete the prison spelling to start collecting the walkers towards prison multi-ball.
Yep, and like we just talked about, as you can see, the strobing shots near the top. Basically, he wants to hit those star rollover buttons whenever they're both blinking. And then, after it hits both those rollovers, he wants to go over the blinking lane on the top. That will basically give him, it's like 3 in 1, and that will give you the most points on your skill shot.
Now you can change the top lane, but the rollover timing, it's hit it when you can.
It's
there,
strictly
that
time
was
on
all
that.
three.
Perfect.
That's good.
He doubled his score.
Next time John goes to take the skill shot, those strobing star rollovers will be strolling much faster.
Yes. They basically increase in time after every successful skill shot.
All right, so John got control, and at this point, looks like he's going for the left drop targets to start a mode.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that's a good way to, well, start a ball 2 in this case. I mean, had he not gotten a lot of play on ball 2, I would not be surprised if he actually did the same thing on ball 3, because he just wants to get points at that.
A little
Now,
early.
you'll see right now he has weapons lit. It'll lock in one of the 3
There's the
when you hit
completion.
1.
Whoa. He's really fighting for control here. You got it. All right, so now all of his shots are lit. See those big rectangular inserts in front of each one? Each one has a word on it.
But
We went
more,
over in the keys.
but more importantly, before I shoot one of those, I want to make sure I lock in one of the drop targets to not weapons.
Exactly, because he only has, he's got 2 that he doesn't have lit. He locked it in on, I believe that's food, the very top one. So now he takes his mode shot, and it starts barn.
The other,
Shoot barn to destroy walkers.
the other thing we haven't talked about is the multiplier there. You saw John had a 2x shot. By collecting walkers, it'll allow a
you.
shot to be multiplied by rolling over the in lane. And you can choose when to use that by
Nice nudge. John.
moving it away from it when you don't want it.
Bad shot. Now that was a good shot. Okay, he has his first aid, and he's got Bloodbath ready.
Oh.
So you see that blinking red light to the left there? That's basically telling him something big's happening. And then if you look, the little rectangular
Oh.
insert right there has Bloodbath lit. You just got to survive this feed. This is going to be a little nerve-wracking here. If he can complete this set of drop targets, it will start his Bloodbath, which will start off as a 2-ball multi-ball.
All right, no
Now, can
problem.
that be
Here we
started
go.
during any mode?
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Even any multi-ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feed from that ramp when it doesn't go up all the way is death. It's very, very hard to recover from it. Especially since John already had 2 dangers. He couldn't really move the machine to even make an attempt on that save.
You sound enthusiastic, James.
Oh, it's
He's not beating John anymore, so he's taking it kind of hard.
Hey, this game is a fight right off the plunge.
Yeah, it's... Oh, nice nudge there, James. I like how I keep switching his name from James to Jim, but I'll pick one. He's really good at that riot shot.
I mean,
yeah. If it would just turn on, it'd be great.
Well, you can turn that shot on by starting that mode. Clear them drop targets. Oh, there's the outlane.
Such fast ball times in this game.
Oh boy, oh boy. I like how as we were getting started and we were going over our little production meeting, we're like, all right, let's play, however long on The Walking Dead. And we're all like, so 10 games?
Yeah.
Because I think every one of us at least played a practice game or a half of one, and it's up. Those slingshots just lull you to sleep, and then it just shoots into the outlane. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is some exciting stuff right here.
I might have to give Jake these band-aids here pretty soon.
I think we need to put the first aid on our players here. This is rough.
That is brutal.
Someone in the chat room says, "Come on, someone go for Well Walker," and I think they've got a point.
Yeah, normally you wouldn't, but good
But
grief, we can't
do
get
it.
anything done.
Well, Evan here actually has
Oh,
a.
wow. That didn't even
That
hit
was a
rubber.
pilot error. Right now, Evan has the upper hand because he actually has his shots lit red, which means he can clear the prison yard.
We got Peter Costland in the chat room. He's asking, is this a tournament or just for fun? Tonight it's just for fun, but this game will be used in the Cleveland Pinball Show tournament coming up this weekend.
Good luck, people in Cleveland.
Good luck to those.
Ooh,
in
that's
Cleveland.
nice.
Not just this game as in Walking
those
Dead,
on?
this game as in this particular
This
Walking
exact Walking Dead.
So good luck, folks.
we'll be pulling the legs off, taking it down, and getting ready to pack up and go north.
All right, we got a little bit of progress here. He's having a good ball. He has just completed Bicycle Girl, which whenever you start, you shoot the left ramp to start Bicycle Girl, and then you keep hitting that left ramp to complete Bicycle Girl.
What the heck? I hit that. There we go. Come on.
Okay. He collected his extra ball.
They are called drop targets, right?
Yes,
That is one
but
thing.
they can be brick targets. Nice nudging. Okay, he's got 4 hits left on the Well Walker to start his multi-ball. You see the
I
number 4 there in the middle of the screen?
3 left on prison, I think.
And you could tell, he has 4 letters complete on prison. You could tell by the smile in front of the.
The clown-looking face up there. Oh, it is creepy when you look at it like that.
So he should be 1 away. Nice nudge.
Next shot, 3x.
Oh, God.
Oh. You avoided
That was my
the bit,
mistake.
and then you nudged a little much.
Now, what I don't know,
Clean
setting-wise, is if you can start a mode in a multi-ball. How we've got this set.
Start a mode in a multi-ball? I'm not sure about the mode, but you can definitely get into a multi-ball and then start your Bloodbath.
Yeah, I don't think you
Which
can
I have
at least
no
in tournament
progress
settings.
toward.
So he'll have to make the decision here. Does he want to get a mode before the multi-ball, or just get control and get into the prison?
That was ugly.
There's a close-up there of the prison. 1 hit to that will start the prison multi-ball.
Yeah, this game definitely makes you kind of adjust your strategy on the fly. It's great. It makes you think, well, gee, I'm only 1 more drop target away from starting a mode, but then again, I'm only 2 shots away from starting my Well Walker, but then again, I'm only 2 hits away from starting my prison.
Okay, there's the prison.
We're going to find out.
We're going to find out. Here we go. So I guess he's going to be, once he's in the middle of this multi-ball, there are no add-a-balls
I cannot.
on the main multi-balls, but there is definitely, actually there might be an add-a-ball on the main multi-balls. I think if you score a super jackpot on Well Walker, it gives you an add-a-ball, I think. That might not be true or not.
Okay,
That's
so what did
strictly
That
speculation.
was the worst multi-ball I've ever seen. I was focused on trying to take out that last drop.
And just like that, he's out of prison. He's got 1 shot remaining on the Well Walker to start his Well Walker multi-ball.
All right, good control there. We can't really tell because of the ramp. Which drop target do you have left? Is it the lowest one?
The top one.
Oh, the top one. That's
That's
I
the one
think
that I've
I've
been breaking
hit
off
it
the most.
cleanly
already.
here
Oh
a few
yeah,
times,
and
so.
it just bounces right off and says, "Go down the middle." So he's hopping into Well Walker here, and as you can see, you can collect the points on the out lane, the bit out lane, while you're in the middle of a multi-ball. So that's definitely how you want to get them while your ball save's on, and not while you're in the middle of single ball play.
Well, that was pretty bad.
Another quick multi-ball and a quick out lane.
Sorry, guys.
Still very far in the lead. And a nice bonus too.
nice ball.
All right, Steve Daniels says there is no add-a-ball for a Well Walker Super that I know of. I'm probably just thinking of other machines then. Sorry about that.
So, interesting story.
All right, let's story time. Go ahead, John.
The World Championship, PAPAtv quarterfinals. I don't know, was it 2 years ago or something? Quarterfinals, I was in it. We played Walking Dead, this very game. And the high score in that game was 9 million points. These are the best players in the world, and me.
I have a story almost like that, but quite the opposite. I had to play this during the Pinburg quarterfinals 3 years ago, and I got to Horde.
See, now that's how you want the story to go.
Yeah.
And you finished, what, third?
And I didn't advance.
Oh, that drop target was mean. Can I have another shot?
Yeah. Oh, maybe not. Oh, there you go. So John here wants those drops because one more completion will start his
Yeah,
Bloodbath.
he's not close to either of the other multi-balls to use that to luck into Bloodbath, so it's going to be, has to make the shot.
No problem. Oh. Let's try it a different way.
Do a little post pass.
You're going to try to backhand it. Nope.
Well, I was thinking about it, but I decided to shoot it up there for something dangerous instead.
Hey, we're broadcasting live. Got to make it entertaining. Oh, that was. No. I like
And there's
saw
the
that
consequence.
coming. Oh, that was painful. Here, you want a Band-Aid for that? I got some first aid.
Normally, my job is normally to make these games harder. This one we've actually had to try to make it a little bit easier than factory.
I actually turned the extra ball on because I wanted to show off the extra ball animation, and it's still difficult. It's still a difficult game. I like how before we started I said I wanted at least one game on this, and now I don't know if I want to embarrass myself.
Oh, Evan.
Nothing I could do for that.
All right, well, John
Still better
beat
than
James.
still better than Jake.
Well,
Here comes Jake.
in
But
Jake's
Jake
defense,
has-
he hasn't had a ball in a
He
flipper
has one
yet.
ball left.
So Jake, what's your strategy here, mate?
Not drain before scoring a few points. I'm really, my first objective here is to try to get to 1 million.
All right, get the skill shot.
Yeah. I've
Now,
had
what I like to
3
do
of
whenever I
those
step
well.
up to a Walking Dead is I always set the skill shot to be on the far right. Because sometimes you'll full plunge and it'll hit that gate and just drop straight down.
Zoom.
So if you actually put it on the far right, you have a better opportunity of getting that one.
Yes.
All right, now he lit a mode, got bit. Now see he took a second there to get control.
Hey, I
and-
did get my 1,000,000 points.
You did.
My objective there was to get to 1 million.
All right, so
Walk off.
All right, from the chat, Frostbite says, I heard there's a Wes Welker multi-ball on here from some tutorial. Yes, there is.
Yes.
And big thanks to Bowen for making that tutorial. It's a beautiful one. And I also like to play that little play on words whenever I play the machine myself.
And as a Patriots fan, I love that. Whoops.
I remember him more as a Bronco.
No,
Yes.
that was a dead bounce that didn't bounce.
That was a dead bounce, and it just
It was dead.
bounced down the middle.
All right, let's try that. There we go.
Steve Daniels from the chat says, come on, Chris, we want to see you horde. Well,
So come on, Evan, we want to see a drain.
No, the chat has zero faith in the 4 of us of getting that far.
they're talking. They said that because I'm saying I might not be playing this game. This game is crazy, Peter. You're absolutely right. This is definitely a difficult thing. All right, before we get started into our next game here,
Well, I think it's time for a message from our sponsors, Deeproot Pinball. Every pinball needs a family, and every family needs a pinball. Deeprootpinball.com. They sell you the game after they've built it.
fantastic stuff. This is the place that Stephen Bowden will be working with, and we're very excited to hear more from it whenever we can.
It's been fun watching his Facebook posts as his life in Texas begins.
Yes. He's visiting all the fun places I wanted to visit whenever I visited. All right, John.
It's a brand new day, John.
Now
what
you
you
can
gonna
hear
do?
us.
Probably something like I did last time.
You got 3
Awesome.
balls of play here, unless you get the extra. Nice plunge.
That's fine.
Oh.
That gives me more ball save time.
That's true. But it's gone now.
The chat is asking if any of us was going to be at Flip Out in
Oh,
Vancouver
no.
this weekend. No, we'll all be up in Cleveland for the Cleveland Pinball Show. But 2
And-
great events. If you're out west or in Canada, check out the Vancouver Flip Out. I've heard great things about that tournament.
Yep. The most of the Papa crew will be at Cleveland, as Fred says in the chat room. I will be at work, unfortunately, because I'm a very important person. And
You get Labor Day off so that you can work the tournaments.
Yeah, that's very true.
Man, I'm having trouble with those drop targets.
Hey, we got the arena running. That's the right ramp mode.
So just keep shooting the right ramp.
Yeah,
Yep.
except I really do want to do a bloodbath.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like the mode points are very. It's like a low-hanging fruit, in my opinion, because you're not doing any advancing except for your score. But I like to go big here and try to set up my bloodbath.
Yeah, I don't get arena too often. I know Barn and Riot, they can be pretty lucrative. Is
Yeah.
arena lucrative?
Oh, come on. Thank you.
So he got his Bloodbath lit off a double danger save. Nice save, John.
I think that is my favourite tilt warning noise in all of pinball.
Yeah, that tilt noise is very exciting. It definitely gets my like.
Thanks for missing that, John.
He missed it and he got it. So now he's got his Bloodbath started. Now he has his Bloodbath started while he has a mode running.
And I think he's just started prison as well.
No,
He
just
started the
setup.
hurry up, or the setup, yes. He can basically set up both multi-balls right now if he wants to, but he can only start one or the other. Also, completing the 3 bank of drop targets on the left will award him a jackpot and give him an add-a-ball and a ball save.
We got word on Arena. During Arena, combos are doubled. So what you want to do is
Combo.
make consecutive shots. But right now it's all about Bloodbath.
He's in this Bloodbath, and he's trying.
Oh, John.
Now Bloodbath has add-a-balls if he can knock down all the targets, but
But not now.
Yep, not
it's
now.
too late. And his Arena's done.
He's got 3 shots remaining for his prison. And 1 more hit to
All
the
right.
Well Walker will start the mode for the Well Walker.
So now where do you go, John?
I'm gonna probably clear out this food since I have it lit, or I could go. I'm actually not. I think I'm gonna take the crossbow shot. I think I'm gonna miss the crossbow shot.
Okay.
It's a good strategy.
All right. Let's clear this food out. Yeah.
1 more completion on the drop target will light your next mode.
Oh, save, but tilt.
Yeah, well. Better than last game.
Well,
That was a nice ball. Juan.
Yes, and bonus isn't too big, but it definitely piles up, no pun intended. Because as you're scoring and killing walkers, which are the like lit crosshairs you see on the playfield, it actually adds to your bonus. And that bonus carries from ball to ball, I believe. Because that's how many walkers you get. I'm getting a thumbs up.
I'm never getting that skill shot again.
It's okay. We want multi-balls, not skill shots.
In case those at home are wondering why the skill shot occasionally just dumps straight into the bumpers rather than going up that curve up there, if you're wondering if that's something that the players are doing to make that happen, it's not. It just does that sometimes.
And it was not purposefully set up. We're not that evil. Or Dan
I
is.
am.
Dan is, yes, but we want to throw you some good stuff here. Brian says if there's anything John can do, it's clear some food out.
All right. Jake up for redemption.
He gets the skill
There's
shot.
the
He takes
skill
the
shot.
lead, believe it or not. I'm just kidding. I got him all excited. Sorry.
This game is one of the easier ones to collect bonus X. It's just going through the 2 upper rollovers there.
Yeah, the hard part of getting bonus X on this machine is safely getting it back to the flippers.
There it goes.
Someone in the chat room says, does anyone know when the next tournament is? Well, I can think of a pair that are coming up this coming weekend. We have the Cleepin in lovely Cleveland, Ohio. And we also have, what was it? The
Vancouver Flip Out.
Vancouver Flip Out.
But the IFA website has a calendar of events. I'm sure there's probably some Tuesday night tournament going on. Go out to the IFA website and check out their calendar. It'll give you tournaments within a mile range that you choose. You can do 50 or 100 or 250 and find many different events upcoming that are for your area.
Yeah, you can definitely do some search for some good pinball tournaments. Get your pinball fix in. Get some tournament action. Get some whoppers, as we like to call them. But just make sure you're having fun, like we're having on this Hard Walking Dead.
Jake
Hey.
seems to be. Jake seems to have gotten it together here.
Yeah,
He's doing some good stuff.
He's definitely fighting for these points, but he's got barn started. That was a very nice barn shot. And right now he actually has a see the orange X above his right end lane there.
Mm-hmm.
That is a shot doubler. So once he runs through that, the next shot would be a multiplied shot. And that right there would have been
Would
the
have been.
perfect time to do that because it would have been a multiplied barn shot, which the base value of that, even if it was just a 2x, it can go up to like 15x. But it would have been like a base value of 4 million, so it would have started off at least 8 million points because I know he had at least 2x.
That's significant in such a low-scoring game like this.
No skill shot.
It's one of the things that, it'll frustrate you. You're trying to save that multiplier for a good time, and then you get it to roll up the in lane
Oh
when you're
boy.
not ready, and you accidentally trip it.
I do that all the time. But the cool thing about the other model of this, was the premium
Yeah.
and the LE, is let's say you go through that in lane accidentally, and you trigger your your multiplier shot. Sorry, you can actually hit the action button if it's lit to score a shot. That shot would be depending on the color of the button. It's pretty crazy how different the rules are, especially if you're in like Horde and you've got a bunch of weapons saved up. You can get a super jackpot just by hitting the button.
I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do
Interesting.
that. Thank you.
So he's got a mode shot lit and started. He has the left orbit. That's the barn. This is a very popular mode. Do you guys like barn mode?
This
What
is
do you
my
think?
favorite.
I love barn.
For this reason, I mean, if you can survive the feed from the bumpers, it'll do what Evans has there to the last 2 times. Bounce down off the left flipper, trap up on the right flipper, make the shot. Miss the shot, make the shot.
Yeah, it's
I
really
feel
all
the
about that feed.
Left orbit is pretty.
It's very
Practice
pretty.
what I preach.
Oh.
Aim for the
It's
drop
easily
target.
makeable.
You'll hit barn.
Yeah, apparently. All right.
Oh boy.
He's got 3 shots left on to start his prison.
All right,
There's
he's
the
using the
X.
double there,
Oh.
but
Come
There
back.
we go.
That's
Oh,
gone.
You gotta nudge
I
it.
got extra ball with them.
The extra ball will be lit on the start of Evan's next ball.
So
To
it's
collect
alright
that extra
progress
ball,
there.
that's the shot that puts it back into the shooter lane over on the right-hand side.
Yes, that's correct. It's the Woodbury shot as well. And we have extra balls on. If the extra balls were set to tournament play, which would give you points, it'd be worth 2.5 million points. Million.
Which seems low for a whole ball's worth.
It kind of does, but that's your base. Now think about getting a 15x extra ball.
Oh, that would be lovely.
That would be lovely.
All right, let's see.
All right, John's got some good progress here. He's in the middle of his prison. He's got 4 shots remaining. You can tell because he has 3 walkers left in the field, and then he'll need 1 more shot to start it. Lovely Vanna White impression. Thank you, John.
all right, here he's going to try it up there. Lock in first aid.
And
That
man,
partial
that
right
angle
ramp
was
is
horrible.
dead.
Yeah,
That angle's rough.
I should have saved that anyways, though. That's still on me.
That
That's
bonus count was definitely not worth. I mean, it would have been worth tilting to try to save that one.
All right, now we got James up, the only guy in 6 digits.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that my last ball was a tribute to Jake. So
Oh man.
maybe I can get the skill shot. That'd be great if it would plunge up there and I could at least get
Well,
those
don't
points.
pull it back all the way. All right. That's how you do it.
Question in the chat, Chris. Are we sure the multiplier applies to extra ball points?
Actually, I am not sure of that because I rarely go for the extra ball whenever it's worth points anyway. I feel like that shot is a kind of a difficult shot because if you miss it low, then you've got some really bad side-to-side action, and side-to-side is very bad on any particular machine, but especially a Walking Dead that's set up for tournament play. But yeah, I'm now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure that they do not apply
Yeah,
to extra ball points.
I
But
know.
they definitely do on other machines. Like
Yeah.
my Metallica definitely gives you a multiplied extra ball points.
There was a discussion with Keith Johnson about that subject and multipliers and tournaments when it's extra balls points, and he's like, "Do you get double the extra ball when it's lit for a regular extra ball? No. So why should you get double the points?" And he makes a valid point.
So we've got Well Walker started. Well, I guess the Well Walker mode, if you want to call it that. He also has every single mode shot lit to start a particular mode. He's actually sitting in a pretty good spot right now. Has a nice dead bounce over.
All right, we get the CDC.
CDC is a great mode here.
All right, here comes the magnet throw. What are we going to do?
Where's it going to go?
Straight down the middle.
Yeah.
Oh,
beautiful
nicely saved.
save. It's hard to believe this is the guy that let the ball drain. He's getting some excellent CDC shots. He's killing those walkers.
CDC ended quick, only
Yeah, that was a
4
very
million.
quick one. Whenever you're in the middle of a mode, if you want to add more time, all you have to do is clear that 3 bank of drop targets on the left. But if you complete it, obviously you can't add more time, which is what he did there. He completed the mode, it ended it, and he got some points for it.
All right.
What? Let's try not to get the headphone cable in the shooter lane.
Good plan.
Yeah, good idea.
All right. Now
Yeah.
Jake missed the skill shot there.
He missed the final part of the skill shot. I really love that animation right there where he puts the grenade in his mouth. Got some control. Ooh.
For a second.
That was a very difficult post pass.
All right, now he has his extra ball lit as well. Locks in the first aid. And now locks in the food.
Oh,
And
no.
Bad.
And locks in the end of his ball with that fumble. All right, up next we've got Bookbinder. Good old Evan. So, Evan, how do you feel about your own Walking Dead after playing this one?
You know, I thought mine was set up hard. Everybody at Team League thought mine was set up hard, and now I think it's set up too easy.
Yeah.
It needs some good old Papa Binford 3000 wax. I can't find that skill shot.
The reason James' CDC mode was so quick is if you shoot it twice, you finish it, which is what he did. You need to shoot things that aren't the CDC to start the escape and score points. Which
You can ultimately repeat that CDC ramp to increase the value and increase it.
Oh,
But
I didn't
then,
need to do that.
I think once you hit maybe the left orbit or the riot shot, then it gets to a point where your next shot towards the ramp will count towards your CDC, and then 2 more shots to that will complete that mode.
okay. All right, we got a pretty good game here.
Yeah, everyone's in the old 7 digits or 8 digits. Sorry,
I think our players are settling into the rhythm of this game.
I wouldn't
John
call-
in the lead though.
I wouldn't call this a pretty good game. I'd call this pretty sad, but we can do
Hey,
better. But
Dan, we got Fred in the chat, and he says the slings need to be tightened a little bit more.
yeah,
A little more?
A little
Okay.
little more tight, yes.
All
yeah.
right,
I
I'll
mean,
get right on that.
you can still see the ball when it's draining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't a good idea.
Danger. No. 3 shots away.
That's okay.
That's a
Alright.
very big spoiler. Thank you.
I don't think we should tell John that spoiler.
No.
Now you got me. Oh, come on, game.
No.
The spoiler is the players die at the end of the game.
Oh.
Oh.
Unfortunate, isn't it?
All right.
Take a walk.
So stepping up. This is a very interesting situation here because James is stepping up the machine, and he can see that he needs a little over 6 million to overtake first place. He's got his extra ball lit, and he's also in the middle of the Well Walker countdown towards Multiball.
Now you
And,
can-
and I'm 3
Hey,
shots
let's
away
wait
from
for-
prison.
Yeah. You have lots of options here.
4 shots away from prison.
Now you can
Oh, yeah.
collect the extra ball during multiball. Right?
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
correct.
4. You have to light prison and then shoot prison.
Correct.
Okay.
So what are you going to go for?
I don't know.
Are you
Well,
going to
I'm
take
gonna-
John's choose your adventure approach?
I'm
Wherever the
gonna
ball comes is
Get
what
the
you're
ball on a flipper.
Okay, good start. Love it.
And then if I have some ball save, I'm going to shoot the Well Walker because that's
Okay.
dangerous. And then if I get it on the left flipper, I'm going for the extra ball.
There you go.
All right.
I
good strat.
like that idea. I play very similar to that way, where if it's on my right flipper, I'm going to backhand the well walker or up the middle. But if it's on my left flipper, then I'm just going to take the shot off at the extra ball. Beautiful.
That'll do.
Or if it's on the left sling, he'll just get the extra.
So that was
Who knows?
the extra ball from the right flipper. Yeah, just like he drew it up.
Yeah. He still has some little ball saves, so he might want to go for the. There you go. Hit a well walker shot. Now, one of the rough things about the way the DMD is on this machine is he doesn't know how many well walker shots he has left to start because he's currently in the middle of the prison yard setup. But he's still hitting the well.
That's what I would do.
He's probably maybe one away right now. There's the start of it. Now, while he's in the middle of this, while he's in the middle of Well Walker Multiball, he cannot start prison. But what he can do is advance towards Bloodbath.
Yeah. Now he can also use this. I mean, he's just trying to catch John. Just go for the Well Walker jackpots.
Oh yeah, the way this multi-ball scores jackpots is it's basically that's a switch count. So you hit enough switches, you hit the Well Walker. You hit another amount of switches, you hit the Well Walker. And if you're able to get a super jackpot on it, you will then light a weapon, which you get to in the middle of the. There's a row of weapons in the middle of the playfield there. If you light, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weapons. Or maybe it's 6 weapons. You then start Horde.
And what is Horde?
Horde is a mini wizard mode. That shot right there is what would start. So they basically you light it on that shot, you hit that to start it, and it's a pretty cool mode in my opinion. The way it works is every single shot will have a walker walking toward you. You have to hit that shot to kill them. And then if you hit X amount of shots, it will then drop a bomb, you get a super jackpot, you get an add-a-ball, and then it resets the amount of shots you need, the amount of walkers you need to kill in order to get to the next super jackpot. It's a lot of fun.
All right, now he's one shot away from prison, and he's got first aid locked in. This has some potential here.
Oh, this is good. This is real good.
If I can get the ball to calm down. No!
Oh, but
That's all right.
he's got
Got
the
an
extra.
extra ball.
So the only downfall is the fact that his 3 bank is not locked in, but he still has the extra. He can aim up the middle, start his prison, and then continue to go after those 3 drop targets.
I think I'd lock it in first and then get to prison.
I would too, as long as the ball saves on.
Good pass over.
No, don't rush it.
Take your
Don't
time.
rush it.
There you go.
All right, see now, if it's on the right flipper, I'd lock it in.
Okay.
Nice shot.
Now one shot away. Get control. Control.
No.
Yeah.
There it is. Beautiful. So now he starts his prison multi-ball. Now he got the drops.
Perfect. Now the 3 drops to the left for Bloodbath with prison. This could be big.
This could be some very nice points.
You would think with all these balls bouncing around, invariably that those 3 drop targets would eventually
Yeah.
get hit, but there isn't anything to send the ball to the left outside of a ball off another one. You
Or
gotta
a
hit 'em.
sling. You have
Yeah.
to aim for it. Unlike the extra ball that he
Now you'll
got,
see
he
people
has to
there.
work
Now,
for it.
right, if he would have been able to trap up that one on the right, he could have tried John's trick to backhand him, and he would have been. At least
He's
there,
struggling
okay.
here. Little struggle bug action. Here it is. Oh! Oh, come
What does he need?
Which drop target do you need?
I need now the middle one.
Okay,
There
there
it
it
is.
is.
There it
All right,
is.
so now he gets his add-a-ball. He starts his Bloodbath. So I think his focus for this multi-ball will ultimately be keep the balls in play and clear those drop targets. There's a jackpot. There's an add-a-ball. And a multi-kill for good measure.
And he has double playfield scoring going as well.
Yes, you see the flashing 2X in the middle there, like kind of to the left of the well walker? You get that by hitting the 2 stand-up targets that are basically the eyes to that creepy clown face up the middle.
On either side of the prison.
On either side of the prison, yes. And then you start it by hitting the, what is it, the riot shot, which will then propel the ball. There's like a stand-up target at the end of that shot. And if you hit that, it activates it, and you're into double scoring mode.
All right, now he's got Barn running. Right into a mode after the Bloodbath.
Oh, nice ball. That's what we wanted to see. And the chat goes wild.
We'll tell him that.
That was good.
All right.
Frostbite asks, are the callouts from the shows from the actual are the callouts in this game from the show's actual cast? And I believe they are not.
No. Oh dear Lord, no.
Definitely.
And I believe this came out around about the same time as X-Men, which also had terrible, terrible voice work.
So Jake steps up with a big hill to climb.
Got the extra ball lit. Oh,
You got a
Oh,
ball.
let's
still
take
in
a
there.
warning.
Very nice.
While the ball saves
Nick of
on.
time.
All right. So what he?
tilt warnings during a ball save.
Yeah, you don't
Not
want. That's.
recommended.
I don't think that's a good idea.
All right.
There it
But
is.
he
That's a
did
good
get the
start.
extra.
Okay, 2 away from prison. Oh, no.
Oh,
Okay.
that was lucky.
That was very lucky.
What, he
little
cleared all
bounce.
3 in one shot, or?
No, he locked it in on the food, which is
I locked it
the
in on
top
the one
one. That was the last one he
essential.
needed. So what are you thinking here, Jake? Are we going to do a post pass over?
Oh,
or
yeah. Even though that's been a little sketchy on this machine.
do it quick? Not bad, not bad. Hey, you did the trick.
Oh.
There it is.
Okay, so he's going to try to bring a mode in before prison. And he's got the riot.
This is the ultimate mode you want before a multi-ball. Because I think this is the mode where you want to get switch hits.
So get the multi-ball as quickly as possible. Or drain as quickly as possible.
Oh.
That was a great setup, but it just wouldn't let you execute it, unfortunately. He has 5 shots for Well Walker.
1 to prison. But he
One-
has Bloodbath lit as well, so
Yes.
get multi-ball and...
This will start his prison mode, I guess you want to call it that.
Come on. Come on.
One more shot, I think.
Oh, he was only at the first part of
Oh,
prison.
he got it. He cleared the drops
I had the
to start
7-10
his
split.
bloodbath. That was beautiful. That was amazing.
Unorthodox, but it worked.
Now he
Now he needs to get an out-of-ball quick.
Yep.
Because he didn't bring in another multi-ball with this, so...
He can still start one. And there is the Well Walker multi-ball.
Well
There's
done.
the jackpot and the add-a-ball. He's going to have a nice ball save time, and some big points will now be on the table. He has surpassed John's score. He can still clear those drop targets for another add-a-ball, and I believe it will give him the super jackpot too, because it looks like he's already cleared them twice.
And we'll clearing them again also restarts his ball save.
Yes, if he gets an add-a-ball from it, it will restart the ball save. You get 3 total. And he even has it locked onto the one he wants, the one he's missing. Oh, I was hoping you would try that. Beautiful. There's the super jackpot, so now he will not get any more add-a-balls from the drops. So what you see is what you get. 2 balls.
Oh, come on.
Starts his double scoring there. Got the 2x blinking.
Jake's showing here how you could go from one really horrible game and then put it together
And
the
have
very
one,
next time.
Yeah, and have one great game.
Are we still in Well Walker Multiball now?
Yeah.
We are still in. We're still in a well, and we are still in the Bloodbath as well.
Surely.
And as you can see, he's got 2 weapons blinking. Those are the multi-kills, but that was a big super, 20 million point super. And getting the super jackpot lit up his another weapon there, so he's got 2 blinking total.
Okay, so he started the multi-kills there. You'll see the yellow light by the arena is lit. If he shoots that, he'll collect a multi-kill award that is points based off of
Right there.
his scoring from
6
other modes.
million.
Then it'll move to a different one. So right now the tunnel shot is lit for a multi-kill. Those can get very lucrative if you can keep hitting them.
And most
Wow,
prison
look at
mode.
this. He's going right into prison. If he can pick off that really difficult tunnel shot, which he almost
Oh, I got interference.
he
then I
did,
got
but
it for
he
free.
was obstructed.
Now,
Right,
sometimes
so he
you'll
did
get
pick it
lucky when the balls are coming into play. One will pop off the pop bumpers and go back and get that shot for you.
If you're lucky.
Jake's lucky.
There's a nice shot. That's you'll see the animation for a prison jackpot, but the multi-kill is way more. Oh, nicely done, Jake. Beautiful. Sword multi-kill.
Very
Nice game. Very nice.
I wasn't paying attention to the score.
Okay.
Tiny bit of bonus.
That's actually how many points he started out with.
161 million.
Very nice ball.
I like it. Inspirational.
And I think he's satisfied.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so Evan's got a lot of work cut out for him. Starting the ball in 4th place. You gotta just take them one at a time. First catch John, and then
Not catch
And
anybody.
then get bit.
That was an amazing game from Jake. All right, take a little break here for a second where we're going to go over one of our other lovely sponsors, because PAPAtv Live is brought to you also by Pindigo. Pindigo, that is the premier social score tracking app for pinball players, such as me, such as you. You can save your scores, you can follow your friends' scores as well, you can compare and compete. This is available for the iOS and the Android. You can check it out online at pindigo.app.
Right there, been a great opportunity for Jake to use the Pindigo app and put in that great Walking Dead score. He can compare it with John's world record and scores from other people all around.
It looks like someone's sneaking up to take a shot of it. I'm actually going to take a shot myself at putting up a nice Walking Dead score, so I'll be leaving you fellas in the booth, but I'll be back
Hey,
possibly,
I should
and we'll
put-
see what happens.
That's a nice Pindigo score. Asher Lefkoff with over 500 million on this Walking Dead. Just recently, he posted video from his stream of getting to Run to the Hills on Iron Maiden as well. I believe he was the first person to have a recorded occurrence of it, which is very impressive.
So good evening, Pete.
Hi, John.
Hey, it's good to be back in the booth, and good evening, James. Good to have you.
Good evening, John and Pete.
It looks like we're going to get ready for game number 3 of Walking Dead.
Are you sure I should do this?
Well, I mean, it's playing tough, but I think it's playing fair. I feel like some of the drains that I had in those games were possibly savable.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not beating myself up too bad either, though.
All
So,
right. All right, here we go. Wish me luck, everybody.
good luck, everybody.
Good luck, everybody.
And welcome, chat room. It's good to see you up here. If you got any questions about The Walking Dead or pinball in general, we'll be happy to take them. No question is incorrect.
Well, since we got you in the booth now, tell us about your world record on Walking Dead.
Now, the world record on Walking Dead is sort of more of a joke than it is anything else. Well, I mean,
It's
to
not
be
a joke.
well, to be fair, Josh put up a competition, Josh Sharp, on the IFPA webpage, and so we set up a guy to come down and do the settings and verify the score submission standards that were required for it, and then we played, and a whole bunch of us played, and the game was pretty tough. I think the world record sits at like 200 and some low million points, just because that game was it was mean. Like the game that Jake just put up would have been I think a top 5 in the world.
Was that one set up as hard as this one, or what would you say?
I'm gonna say it might have been a hair more difficult, but this one is giving Bally bricks off those left drop targets, which is it's frustrating. It's dangerous. And I will say the slingshots are set up just perfect for competition play on this one. They're mean.
Right to
Now,
the outlane. Or the extra ball, in my case.
Now, the drop targets, is that something that can be adjusted to make them drop easier, or is that something that Dan might want to look at before we send this game up to Cleveland, or leave it like it is?
I like how mean it's playing right now. I think this is great for a tournament format. I mean, Eitan just showed us that, like, if you miss a shot, you pay to the pot. Oh, I like how
That was nice.
You catch
That was
my
nice.
little rhyme there?
Yeah, those slingshots are exceptionally dangerous on this machine.
And Marcelo asked us, do you guys have a Tales from the Crypt? Yes, we do. I personally picked up that machine about 6 years ago here, and we have a very nice copy of it.
So, now this is Evan's 3rd time through the game, but
I'm getting
it doesn't
worse.
get any easier.
going the wrong way.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, so this time Evan has started out by lighting the prison mode, which I think is a good strategy to start the game, because if you miss other shots and happen to make those shots, you're making progress towards a multi-ball, which is always good.
I agree. That's the way I like to start.
Now, since we had a ball save on this particular machine right now, did that change your strategy when you started?
Actually, well, during my second game, I failed to make it up to the top to get the skill shot, and actually, I was sort of pleased with that result because it didn't hit anything on the way down, so my ball save was longer. So therefore, I was like, well, I got a free shot where I can shoot SDS, shoot dangerous stuff, and I like having the ability to take a dangerous shot and take the risks before that ball save is gone.
And especially given how those drop targets have been treating us.
You'll see a lot of high-level players do that. They'll forego the million-point skill shot to short plunge, hope it doesn't hit much in the bumpers, and give you more ball save time if there is any.
Trevor asks, John, what's your favorite machine? My favorite machine, I believe, is Attack from Mars. Although I have seen many games that I really love to play over the years, and I guess Attack from Mars has just sort of become my stock answer. It was my most desired machine to own for the longest period until I got one.
So what's your favorite apocalypse weapon?
Favorite?
Apparently Dan's is a cricket bat, which is amazing.
How a cricket bat as an apocalypse weapon?
Have you never seen Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah. Of course. It's one of my favorite movies. Yeah. They really hit it out of the park with those movies. I love that. I love Hot Fuzz.
The whole Cornetto trilogy, really.
Yeah.
I remember sitting in the theater for the first half of Hot Fuzz being like, I don't get it. I don't really see what's going on in this movie. And then there's just that moment when the whole movie changes. And I was like, now I know. Now I know why I'm here.
The greater good. The greater good.
Recently, the local theater had the Romero classics as well. That was interesting to see on the big screen.
Oh, I mean, if you have never seen Night of the Living Dead, they are. I mean, they spawned everything that came afterwards. I mean, like, they spawned zombie. I mean, of course, there was talk about zombies before that in, like, Pulp Fiction and stuff like that, but they really spawned it to the screen.
Yeah, they served as what a zombie would be defined as for a very long time. How fast they moved, whether or not they could open a door.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of people that disagree with any zombie film in which a zombie can open a door because of Night of the Living Dead.
I don't know. Dan, what do you think? Do you think these zombies can open doors and eat you?
Well, these aren't zombies. These are walkers.
Oh, come on. It's the same thing. They're zombies. Come on. You can call them whatever you want. You can call them plagued, infected, walkers, the damned even, but it doesn't matter what you call them. Or risers, gosh, there's so many names. I can't even think of all the names people have used to describe zombies over the years.
I think if these zombies could open doors, we wouldn't be into series, 8, 9, season 10?
I don't know.
No.
Part of me wants to, just sort of like give them that genetic splicing so they finish the job.
Yeah. While Dan's playing here, you could talk a little bit about the doors on the barn. When this game is not set, the doors will open up and there's a big zombie head that you have to hit to get the letters. On this one, it's set so the doors stay closed. That head that's behind it, does it not register well, or what is the reasoning behind that?
So there's two different sets of switches there. There's a pressure-sensitive switch that are on the doors, and then there's just an opto beam that registers for when the head is being hit. So if you disable the doors, it's just looking at that opto beam. And that, in the early versions, that was deemed to be much more effective. And I don't know if they've changed the code since then, because it seems like all the Walking Deads are fine now. So I think they might have changed the code to address that. That was a lot of points.
Yeah, that was.
2X is running, Bicycle Girl is running.
Combo shot.
Yeah, that was legit.
Is combo a multiplier or just a set point value?
Good question, James. So, I think that it's set and it builds over the course of the game, and it can be multiplied by your playfield multiplier shot.
He got his weapons and with his crossbow, but unfortunately was bit before he could use them. Sometimes you need to run before you pick up the cricket bat.
Yeah, I mean...
All right. What did Jake have at this point?
less. You're doing fine, man.
Beating Jake.
Don't worry about it.
That is my goal right now.
I find that the games of Walking Dead are very diametric. You can go from a very small score to a very large score, and many players don't hit that first threshold on this game.
Yes.
It's sort of different than, I don't know, let's say Spider-Man, for example, where most players are going to reach a Doc Ock.
There we go. Still doing better than Jake.
Now, to be fair, Eitan, I'm putting the blame for that loss squarely on your shoulders. You ran right into the walker's arms, and then the walker pulled your head off. Do you feel the weight of oppression upon your shoulders right now?
No, Lewis is doing. Lewis, no!
That's right. The walker got him.
Get out of here. I just wave zombies
Eitan
away.
rolled down his turtleneck, opened up his neck, and said, "Here, please bite."
PAPAtv,
I guess that would be
amateur theater.
vampire.
Yes, we know that you're not watching us for our amazing acting skills. Gosh.
It's for our great pinball skills, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that last game, though, I started off with 600,000 on ball one because, this game, if you don't get control of it right away, we'll just put it in that lane. But then I was able to build back up over the course of the next 2 balls and the extra ball to, put up a decent score. Though Jake then embarrassed me by doubling up immediately following.
Not at all. I mean, see, I don't look at this game as like if you have that 8 million point game or 10 million point game as it's an embarrassment. It just is going to happen on this game. If you're playing in a Herb tournament, well, that's fine, as long as you come back and you put up that 300, 400, 500 million point game afterwards. Because as long as you have a strategy that you're going to use that you think can do that, then you're in good shape. You don't have to do it on that first try. Now, if you're in match play, it might be time to employ a different strategy. Maybe just get that one mode and go for the prison multi-ball stack, because that's a lot more. Let me see. What's the word to say there? It's a lot more expected. Your expected value is going to be higher.
Here's a question from the chat room when you're talking about strategy. On The Walking Dead, what are the best modes to stack to start with, to start a multi-ball with? Thanks to Smack 2018 for the question.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I guess to start with, I'm going to say barn, because it's an easy one to build what I would call the safety score, or the positional score, because it's probably one of the easier shots on the game. It's something that's repeatable, and it's something that if you're going for drop targets anyways, you might miss into to either the barn or the drop targets if your shot is poor enough. If you're looking for pure scoring potential, the 2 modes that stand out are Tunnel and Riot. Tunnel and Riot, you can score monstrous amounts of points. I have seen tunnel modes of 300 million points on this game.
Such a dangerous shot, the tunnel shot.
Fred says James Lipton should do an episode of the Actors Studio at Papa with all of the wonderful actors. I can only imagine what James would say. So we've been watching your body of work, and then we turned it off. So
there are those who say it's the finest.
Chris, keep in mind, you're watching Chris, one of the best players in the world, struggle, and he just had a 7 million point game as well. And he's not going to be too upset about that, mainly because there's not a whole lot of money on the line tonight. But also because of the fact that this game will just do that to you. So, but also he's going for a strategy where the potential, and it's probably pretty much the same strategy I was going on, the potential is huge. So, like, if you get it right, you're going to have that 200 million plus point score.
You're talking about the stages of scoring, and his basically was boom or bust. There was no middle level with that strategy.
Right, and that's fine, because we want to see that, the boom, and unfortunately we got to see the bust. But on this tough machine, you're going to see it.
If you're in Herb qualifying and you need 80 million, that might not be the strategy that you're going for.
I don't know if you've ever... why would you be looking for 80 million in Herb qualifying, though?
Like, it's the end of the night, and that's what you need to punch your ticket.
No. Well, then, I don't know.
Yeah, there are many occurrences where that would be what you want, but...
I got to tell you, if I was in Herb qualifying and I was at the end of the night trying to punch my ticket, I'd still go for that. Because even if I mess that strategy up, I'm probably going to get 80 million. And if I just do a super safe and conservative strategy, I might play really well and not get 80 million.
Now, would this be a game, John, if you went to a tournament like Cleepin and you showed up and you saw Walking Dead's in the bank, would this be a game that you would focus on for qualifying but maybe not pick in match play because of of what we've been discussing so far?
Yeah, that's a good question, James. So I guess it's not an easy yes or no question too. I mean, Walking Dead is a control game. It's a game that's going to favor higher skilled players. So if you're playing against high skilled players, they're going to have an advantage over a lower skilled player on a control game like this. But there's a lot of variance in it. The variance is high. So like take a look at Chris's score. Take a look at the scores I got. They're not good. You know, I don't.
All right.
It's completely situational, so I can't really answer a complete yes or no. But it is a great question, and it's one of those things that goes into what makes a tournament thought process awesome.
Well, that brings up a not different line of questioning, though. You're in a tournament. Do you pick games that you're most comfortable with, or do you pick based off of who you're playing?
I mean, for me, it's generally going to be games I'm most comfortable with. What about you, Pete?
I agree with you. I want to go with my strengths more so than worrying about what the next person is going to do.
Right. I mean, what do you think, James? What's your opinion on that?
I agree with maybe a few exceptions. I think there's been moments where, you know, especially if it's a series of match play, like one of our fight clubs. Well, our fight clubs we don't get to pick, but if it's a series of match play, I think there's times when you've played a person multiple times that you might get a feeling that you could pick from, that you might add that. Like there may be 2 or 3 games that you wish to play, and you're going to pick as a secondary aspect what they might not be feeling that day.
And there's nothing wrong with that. So, like, you're also talking about something that I use in picking, which is rules knowledge. There's been times I've picked game purely on the fact that I don't think another player's ever played that game. Like, I picked Al's Garage Band Goes on World Tour because some people just don't know the rules to that game, and it's if you don't know the rules to that game and somebody picks it against you, you're done. You're just not going to luck into beating somebody. Nice save.
Give me that.
No.
Oh, come on, game.
Yeah, it was a bit much.
No, Dan got me.
Yep. You know, wow. So the high score was 55, and that is our 3rd game of
Dan
The Walking
Hall with
Dead.
the win.
Yeah, congratulations, Dan. Good run. And we're going before we move on to our next set, we're going to talk about our upcoming broadcasts. James, go ahead.
Yeah, so PAPAtv is going to be broadcasting live from the Cleveland Pinball Show and Expo this weekend coming up. I believe we're going to be doing finals on Sunday. Check the Cleveland Pinball and Show and Expo website for details, and you know, if you see on our Facebook page, we'll probably announce when we're going to do that. And then we'll be taking that following Monday off, as we're going to be traveling back. Even though Cleveland's right up the road, it's a lot of equipment to pack up and then reset up back here at the PAPAtv studios.
Everybody needs a day off.
And everybody needs a day off. So then our next PAPAtv is going to be September 17th, and the games are TBA at the moment, but I'm sure they're going to be pretty excellent.
So I'd just like to point out that the Cleveland show is a wonderful show that's been put together in the past couple years. If you go up to that show, I highly recommend going to the restaurant called Melt, which is about a block away from where the show is held. And don't get the large sandwich unless you're willing to pay the price for getting the large sandwich.
If you are competing, it is going to hurt.
I'm telling you right now, don't get the large sandwich unless you're willing to pay the price. It's really good, though. You're going to eat everything you can.
So that's like a victory meal.
Yes. Maybe.
Yes.
If you want, I got the game list here for the Cleveland Pinball Show.
Oh, by all means. Let's let me guess. Is The Walking Dead on the game list?
Well, yes. In Maine, we have The Walking Dead, Centaur, Genesis, World Cup Soccer, Indy 500, Space Station, Iron Maiden, Iron Man, and Addams Family.
Oh, that's
a
Mike,
good list.
shall I go out and say that's a fairly standard-looking list?
Okay. And then classics,
Go ahead.
Super Orbit, Mystic, Freefall, Andromeda, Supersonic, and our next game, Stingray.
Oh, so if you're tuning in to watch Stingray coverage, you're going to need this knowledge for playing at the Cleveland Festival.
And the keys to the Stingray game. Stinging saucers. There are 2 saucers at the top and the center of the playfield that cycle through 5 awards. The light Stingray lane and spinner, 5,000. Extra ball, double bonus, and the most lucrative one of all, 55,000. Hopefully your ball goes in the saucer when it's for something good and not for 5,000. Surfacer spinners, shooting the ball towards the top to work the saucer. The center saucer is less reliable and potentially risky. The left spinner, when lit, scores a great amount of points. And the Seafarer Special. Drop all 5 drop targets twice to light the special, alternating on the out lane and special targets. Specials on classic sterns are worth 100,000 points. Very valuable on games like this, if you can get it.
All right, so we're going to get started and get some good action with the Stingray.
You know, Pete, John, we're going to swap Pete out for Mr. Evan Bookbinder. But, John, I was at North Star Pinball in Montreal about a year ago.
Sure.
And I lit special, and I didn't shoot it because
Oh, my.
I'm so used to playing on tournament-ready games around Pittsburgh, either at our clubhouses or at people's houses or here at Papa, that why would I shoot a special on an old EM? It's not going to get me anything.
Well,
And
yeah.
Somebody next to me is like, hey, you're missing out on all these free games.
Yeah. If you want to get to the next level of points on a classic stern, you got to get those specials. And that's just the only way to do it. At this point in time, I'd like to welcome to the booth our local weather forecaster, Mr. Evan Bookbinder.
Hey, John, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good, my man. Pretty good.
Well, that was Walking Dead. Now we're on to Stingray.
So what do you forecast the scores will be here?
Well, in some cases, it's theoretically possible to get a higher score in Stingray than some of our scores on Walking Dead.
That would be
sad,
painful. Yeah,
but,
that would be pretty painful. So this is a modified Stingray. This Stingray has been clear coated with a very thick automotive clear coat, and it is one of the most gorgeous conditions machines you'll ever see.
Yeah, I would agree. I got the fortunate chance to work on this very machine when local Greg DeFeo, El Presidente, owned it for a while. And that was the first thing I saw was, it's tough to see with this overhead shot, but the clear coat just reflects in your face. It's beautiful artwork in this game. Just probably the nicest Stingray I've ever seen, hands down.
Yeah, no argument with that.
How much faster does that make this game compared to, say, other, sterns from this era that might not have that special extra clear coat?
I don't know. I don't know if it would be hard pressed to put a percentage number on it, but it definitely makes the feel different. I don't know how to describe that. This game is more dangerous in its floatiness than its speed, which is. Would you agree with that, Evan?
I would agree. There's a very large area below that center saucer that you can kind of ricochet either off the drop targets or coming out of that right lane with all those orange rollovers there. But the ball can kind of get lost in a state where even from like 15 feet away, it seems you're dead, and there's nothing you're going to do about it.
Oh, this is some nice upper saucer work by Pete.
3 double bonuses. I wonder what that'll do for me. 4 double bonuses.
Extra ball lit
Missed the extra ball.
right next to where he went.
Yeah. So
Some really, really great playfield geometry, though, on this game that I love. You've got that left spinner orbit, the right orbit through those 5 rollovers, and I think the saucer with the rotating, different things you can collect there, that shot right there, is interesting because you didn't see that on a lot of sterns of that era. You actually saw that in a lot of Williams games from the 70s. So
don't worry about it, Aton. That's why they made 3 balls.
No comment.
Yeah, probably best. Probably best.
Typically in this era, when you step up to a machine, you think, oh, that saucer's going to change off the pop-uppers.
Hey, Chris.
What's it changing off on?
Chris, before you play, can we take a look at that T-shirt you picked up there?
What do we got there? Tilting.
If you're not tilting.
If you're not tilting, you're not trying. Oh.
A lovely birthday gift.
Awesome.
Very, very good. Happy birthday.
Well, thank you.
It's 29 again.
Yeah, just for the 4th time. Or for the, I don't even know how old
Can't
I am.
count anymore.
I'm that old.
Wow, and now we get a lovely shot of Chris's forearms.
Really? Where?
On the, there we go. Good job, man.
Thank you for that.
Shout out to our producer, Mr. Lewis Bevins, this evening, who is working the tables and giving you all the camera shots and angles.
Extra ball is lit. Do we know if that's on this?
I don't know, but
It's on. It's hard. It's very hard to just like fall into it and get it.
I was gonna say, but can you inlane pass or shats on this era
No.
of Sterns?
not really, because the turning radius is too steep.
I would agree. Although if I slap the word Gottlieb over Stern, it might make it enticing to do so.
Sure. I mean, now there's another classic Stern we have, Stern Dracula,
I was just gonna say that.
and that one is completely shatsable. And especially if you have the special lid on those end lanes, you're going to be...
Ugh. See, you knew that from midway up the playfield. It was gone. Just watch it go away.
I think
But,
his flippers just stopped working. That's what happened there.
Dracula Stern was actually the first game I learned to inlane pass on. Here, actually. I watched Greg Galanter do it in a league finals game.
Mhm.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, you'll learn a lot of things playing in league finals down here. And, well, here we go. Pete's going to step up and see if he can work some magic and go ahead and catch back up.
Well, let me tell you about my magic on this game on Buffalo. First ball, I got on the flipper, got up to the top, got it into the 55,000,
Ooh.
kicked it out down the right out lane. Okay,
Ooh.
that happens. But
Yes.
55,000's lit. Plunge it right in the saucer, kicks it out down the left out lane.
No.
Third ball, plunged it, 55,000, couple pop bumpers right down the middle. The quickest 180,000 you could possibly get.
And how'd that work out in the end?
Not well enough.
It's a fortunate roll.
I think we need to have a little theme song. You know, I know a little. Dun, dun.
Yeah, I mean this would be a game where you may want to pick going first if the saucer's lit for 55,000. If you walk up,
Absolutely.
So, just like every other situation when you're in tournament choice, use all the advantages you have. Say, I'd like to examine machine condition. Now, if the game's not started yet, it's probably not going to tell you where it's at. So if the game is not started, well, then find out whether the game can be started before you make your choice. It's perfectly acceptable to ask questions.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What the hell just happened?
You drained.
you nudge.
I
that
want the
right
truth.
to the outlane.
I think if he hadn't
Sorry,
nudged,
Lewis.
it was in.
Yeah,
All right.
It did look good. It did look good.
All right, Mulder. We'll play the X-Files on a different night, and then you can have the truth.
Well, the belated birthday boy stands just under 11,000 short here.
Yeah. Give it to me.
Could maybe get that extra ball.
Does that tend to work when you say "give it to me"?
No.
Okay, just say it.
Does he get 3 extra balls for that?
Possible.
See, I tend to be more of the "please don't do that to me." You know, I sort of beg and implore the machine.
And honestly, if I were a machine looking at a man of your stature, I'd do whatever the heck he told me to.
Well, sometimes, sometimes I make the machines do what they need to. Sometimes the machines just do what they're going to do anyways.
I never thought I'd be a guy that talked to a pinball machine. When I first got into pinball, I was always like, "Oh, it's a little weird." I talk to the machine all the time now.
Right, and you don't think it's weird anymore, right?
No.
So,
I mean, I remember playing you casually at the clubhouse. We were going through pretty much the entire lineup of games at some party. And I was like, I'm going to use this opportunity to lose a lot of dollars to John.
oh, I remember that.
And,
You did well that night.
I did well until we got to any of the modern games. And one of the things I said to you was like, I just can't believe you just put up that big ball and you had a huge score and you were so angry at yourself. And I just wasn't there yet. I wasn't there where I could put up a large, high-scoring ball and still know that I could have put up more points had I not made that last mistake.
Right. I mean, there's wow, that was a nice try, Pete. There's plenty of situations, James, where like I get a low-scoring game, and I don't really think there's anything more I could have done, and I'm really usually not upset. If I've done what I thought I could do, and done the best I could, I'm cool with the result.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, there was plenty of plunges on The Walking Dead where there was nothing you were doing when it came to those pop bumpers.
Some of those balls Jake had, as a matter of fact, he wasn't getting those back.
And you can't let that get you down in the middle of even casual play, because it will affect your later balls.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, mental mindset is so important in pinball. Do not forget this. I mean, if you need to reset, you better go reset, because I've lost many tournaments because my mental mindset was not correct. Oh, Aton.
The ball's at the top of the playfield. What are you pushing it around for?
Yeah, I went big.
I think
I don't think he
trying
was
to
nudging
get it
that
to go
much.
down the Stingray lane.
That's right. I want a TD.
You need an adult. Market 0.
Market 0.
Now the good news is he could not have tilted through for multiple reasons. A, he was on ball 3, player 4. That's one good reason. But B, on a classic stern, you cannot tilt through, which is pretty cool.
I remember the first time that I thought I tilted through.
Oh,
I was so afraid.
All right, Chris. So what's your strategy going to be for this one? Oh, well, before we start up, we'd like to talk about one of PAPAtv's sponsors, as we have a sponsor to thank.
The wait is over. A revolution in LED lighting for your pinball is finally here. Fully customizable, full-spectrum lighting from Pinstadium Lights. Order yours now at pinstadium.com.
That's PAPAtv being sponsored by Pinstadium Lights, and if you watched any of the Pinburg broadcasts, we had those on all of the machines and finals, and they were fantastic.
It made them look great.
Yeah.
Made them look great. All right, getting back to Stingray action. Chris, what are you going to do differently?
Differently? Oh, man. I don't know what I can do different other than hope I don't drain like I did.
All right. That's good strategy.
I definitely think that I aimed for the spinner, I shot the spinner, and then I aimed for this hole, and I drained. So I'm going to make that time. That's my goal, is I want to actually make the saucer. Plunging for that saucer, right now it just lights the spinner, which I want, because I actually am hitting the spinner. That's like 1,000 points a spin if I light it up, so that's definitely worth it, especially for me, because I'm making the shots. I'm just not surviving. So let's survive.
So no target shots?
Those things, no. Unless it's left for a special, then I'll gladly take them out.
Okay, so Cleveland Pinball and Arcade Show asked a question. They said, if that question at the World Championships or at Pinburg, can a game be started before the order has been chosen? And, well, let's just talk about what normally happens. Sometimes the tournament director will start the game and then go ask the players what order are in. If the game started and sitting there waiting, you use all the knowledge that's available to you. You know, if you have that opportunity, you better use it. So technically, the game probably shouldn't be started.
I was going to say, typically, you're not going to find yourself in that situation. So,
but if you do,
always check.
Actually, let me segue that
very
into
unlike PD to tilt.
Another situation that happened in a tournament at the IFPA World Championships up in Canada recently. There was actually some controversy over a player using their practice time to set up the state of a twilight zone. I don't know if any of you are familiar with this situation.
I did watch that video in its entirety.
So, as it turns out, I believe the player in question was completely in the right for doing what they were doing, because the other player had actually acted out of turn and played their practice out of turn.
Right.
So the other player still needed to practice. So because the other player made a mistake, they got to set up the machine how they wanted it. So I don't think there's any problem whatsoever in what happened there. So
I don't. I'm still not convinced it was intentional, but
I'm not
regardless
convinced, I'm
of
not convinced it was either. But
if it was, it's genius in my opinion, because it's an error on the tournament director or whoever or the rules or whatever to not have established an order of practice.
Well, there was an order of practice, but the other player involved in the incident decided to just play out of that order. From what I understand. From what I understand. Now, of course, I could be incorrect in that, but
I mean, is there any penalty to playing out of order in practice?
No, I don't know. There probably could be.
There should be.
I mean, there should be. You say, Chris?
There should be.
I mean, I would certainly figure that sometimes things just happen that are unintentional situations, and usually there's not going to be a penalty for an unintentional situation.
And I mean, Twilight Zone's certainly not the only example, but there are few and far between of examples where you could set up the game, so to speak, whether it's a Powerball or some other feature that could hold over game to game, for example.
Just so all our players are understanding the situation, like on a Twilight Zone machine, there's a special porcelain ball called the Powerball, and it's located at a certain point in the machine, and you can alter that point. All the players can, and it stays in that location until it's released, and then that mode can be worth a significant amount of points. So that's the situation we're describing here.
I never noticed that those targets in the Stingray lane will not score when you go up it. They were only scoring when he came down it, and there's in fact little arrows, and I don't know if they're situated that way on purpose. They weren't scoring for him when he shot up that right loop.
I'm confused by what you just said.
No, he's saying the arrow is saying you only score the 100 as you're going down. But if I go up, watch, it won't. None of the points, none of these rollovers will be worth anything.
Let's watch this.
If I can make the shot.
Make the shot, Chris. Thank you.
See?
See?
No points.
That's amazing. I never would have thought that, because I would have thought, oh, it's a rollover. It's just always going to score.
This game is pretty ahead of its time on.
I would say it's right at its time. I mean, if they did a code update on it.
What would you add? Nice shot, Chris. So we talked about, because I'm not even exactly sure, how you rotate the awards that are awarded to Top Saucer.
It's if you see the little circles with 10 in it, those little slings up by the pop bumpers.
I see.
It's not the pop bumpers, though, which is a typical way of rotating on a lot of machines.
So I hear if you do play out of turn, angry Doug Polka will come after you. I don't know if you caught that there on the.
Wow. I wouldn't want to see Doug when he's looking like that. Of course, I've given Doug a few looks in that same general direction, and I'll probably do it again.
Don't tilt, Petey.
Yeah, Pete's playing hard.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
He'll take 110,000 for those two dishes, though.
You scared him, Evan. You scared Pete right out of that ball.
All right, can I plunge to 55?
What I wanted to do is prevent Petey from causing something I had never seen him do before, which would be tilt on 2 consecutive balls.
Oh!
You've never seen that before?
Not with him.
Oh, hang around Pete more often.
Gentle giant here.
I think Jake got a little lucky there.
Yeah.
So when I saw that ball coming right down at the top of the slingshot, I really, if I was standing where Jake was, I really would have hit that game. I would have hit the game from the right side of the machine, moving it left, and that would have altered the trajectory of how that ball bounced off.
Thank you, Mr. Data.
Go in there, go in there, go in there, go in there!
I think this style in-lane, out-lane is the hardest one to judge, because I think the spin on the ball almost is more dramatic than if it had a rubber on top.
I agree. I think the spin is very important on this. I don't think it's difficult to judge. I think this is actually an easy one to judge.
Well,
But
that's why you've been in the top 4 of Papa, and I'm usually a C division player.
The advantage here is that the top of the in-lane bracket is almost the same height as the slingshot. So
Right.
it's actually almost 50-50 compared to some other
yeah,
games where that metal bracket is way lower than the top of the sling. So
but this particular game, I feel like I have a very high rate of saving balls. Nice.
Nice.
That was a
it.
good one. That was a good one.
Well, and what's nice about these slingshots is if you look on the outside part of the slingshot, it's angled a little wider. So that in lane is actually a little wider than the out lane.
It is, but don't be fooled by that.
All right,
that little that angle actually might send a ball towards the
he's
outlet.
got the 55,000 up at the top. Too.
I am not CDs.
That top saucer's worth a lot.
Bomb saucer's worth a lot too.
It's a little more risky.
With great risk becomes great drain.
I think I got
Oh, look
There
at
it
that.
is.
And another nice nudge.
I think
Oh,
I had
I
that,
thought he was about to one-time that. Oh, that was another nice try.
I think I had that risk proverb on a fortune cookie recently.
Oh, that
Just dipped.
did the flipper just
Yeah,
go
it's
a little?
dipped.
Okay.
All right, it's back.
Uh-oh. I think we need
Oh,
some.
look at this.
I know. This is crushing. He has now moved into first place.
And
Let's
he's
see if he can
getting-
keep it up. Oh, no,
Oh,
that's going to be it. But he's going to get some bonus.
Bing, bing.
20,000 of it.
I said some. I didn't say lots.
This is not a huge advance bonus game. There's so few places to advance your bonus in it.
So Dan Hall needs better part of 300,000 points, or he's going to get Steve Irwin on this Stingray here.
He needs Mike and the mechanics to come save him.
He's British, not Australian.
That's close enough. That's the best we could do here.
Wow. We reached a new low here
did-
at the
did-
PAPAtv broadcast
did I-
booth. We'd just like to
I think we may have jumped the shark.
Oh, the shark has been no.
The
No.
Stingray
For
has
the
been jumped.
For the record, we we jumped the shark quite a few years ago. And before we start our
That's the third ball. Still.
oh my goodness gracious me.
Such a long game, John. You were.
I was so impressed with the scores. Everybody's crushing it.
Yeah, I mean, we were joking before the broadcast started that we'd get about 52 games into this in the half hour that we had set aside for it.
And so
But,
far, it's playing longer than Walking Dead.
That's some patience right there. That's a type of patience that I struggle with sometimes.
Yeah, me too on most games. Oh, just give it to my flipper. Just come to my flipper. Not that one. All right. What do you think?
you
Post
got the,
pass, alley pass? Oh,
Oh.
wait, that's
You got a
10
lit
times, but
spinner and a
that's not
10x.
How
on
about
the
a
right
tap
side.
pass?
Are you ready to capture this embarrassing moment?
Yes.
He's sweating.
This is awesome.
Oh,
look at that.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh,
I don't think we could have called that shot.
Tap pass and it was
Oh, that's
stucky.
definitely going to tilt.
a good
And
thing we have a
unfortunately,
TV.
Chris is going to lose on PAPAtv Live because Pete's going to come up and judiciously nudge him to death.
I have a ball stuck.
This ball is going to go on your left flipper.
Okay.
And then,
Petey's
but the
wearing the-
flipper might be drained by the point.
Petey's wearing the tournament director shirt. So,
Oh,
And Dan's wearing his tech shirt.
I like how they came running. It was
just like Pimber.
It's like someone turned the light on or something.
yeah, I know. oh gosh. I hope
You're welcome.
I hope you folks at home did not catch that ear-splitting creak of the glass sliding into the machine. But if you did, we are very sorry.
So is Doug.
And Doug is not happy with you. Doug is coming after Dan
Thank you, sir.
right now. He's hiding behind that Pinberg banner.
Has he been here all night?
He'll be here all week.
Oh, that was beautiful right there.
That was a little better.
That tap pass.
You got a lot of
Oh,
points out of that.
do it
spinner,
again.
too.
Oh, look how easy it is. It's like butter.
It's like Paragon.
All right, well, maybe we can finally get a full-on shot on this. All right, so we're at 373,000. Let's see if we can make a spinner. Although I missed it the last 2 times, even though it wasn't from a cradle, but now the pressure's on because it's actually worth something, which is basically your mind telling you now it's time to
Brick drain.
Brick drain.
Brick drain. Here we go. Brick drain.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
wow.
Power in lane.
Woo. Skills.
Skills. Skills.
I tried to do that when
got
the
some
extra
skills
ball was
for
lit,
ya.
but I missed.
I got some skills for you. Oh my goodness.
Only a PAPAtv do I pull out the big guns.
All right,
Nice.
so that was worth about 45,000 points, I want to say.
Oh,
That is out of control.
Okay, there was some serious skill there.
a little.
There was something there.
Oh, that was a miss.
There's one drop target left, I think.
The in lanes are being friendly too. So.
Yeah, they're giving me a little bit of love. If I knock down the drops, that scores me 10,000. Does that mean the next time I complete the drops, it'll be worth the special?
It'll light the special. So.
Ah, beautiful. Still, that's too low for me to aim for, so hopefully I'll just like happily bounce into it.
I think you could nail that.
You can hit that.
Yeah, you can hit that.
I'm gonna
for that.
aim for the sling to hit off of the.
Oh my
The
gosh.
the
Fred
thing.
Cochran approach.
That's right.
Wow, this is a called shot. I like it. I like where we're going
I
with
mean,
this.
I think the trajectory is gonna be. Maybe I'll hit the sling into the spinner. Are you ready?
Sure.
I'm still amazed after all this he has
Almost.
10,000 bonus.
Actually, that was a really nice slingshot. Literally.
Oh, look at that.
There it is.
There we go. Right off the tip. So now special. If you can complete
no.
that again, special will be lit. Only 5 drop targets to go, Chris. No problem. Nothing could possibly go wrong.
2 down.
Light the extra ball. Get in there. Yeah. Light it again. Oh, that could have been deadly. Oh boy.
Oh my gosh.
That was
Oh, a backhand to 2 targets.
okay. Only 1 left. So
Same bottom target.
so tap pass to live shot off the tip into that drop target right now. Do it now. Don't talk about it. Just do it.
Stop cradling.
Boom.
I did it to a cradle. That makes me feel a
Okay,
little
fine.
better.
That dude.
Spinner?
That's cool.
Spinner?
No. Drop target, man.
Oh
Hit
man.
that drop target. We want some
All
specials.
right.
These things are so easy.
The nice thing is
Oh boy.
That was so. Evan, please stop telling people they're making it look easy.
All right. What's funny is there's 5 places that ball could have gone, and 4 of them were lit for something.
And he picked the one that doesn't do anything.
Oh my goodness.
Petey's kind of indisposed in our green room, so I'm gonna take over for a ball. And I've been busy. I think I'm just gonna play one-handed. Don't put too much. I didn't even get a chance, so well, there we go.
That's Stingray, folks.
You know, when he had that bottom target left to hit special, he could have hit that, lit special, and gone. It's not nearly as dangerous because he probably would have went out the out lane, which would have been lit for 100,000. So that's it's a solid shot if you have it available.
You know, there's a tendency after you've done something that's high pressure,
Right.
that you lock up and then force yourself that you're going to have to get back into that safe situation where sometimes the answer is actually you need to flip it away and you're not going to be in control. And that was actually the situation Chris found himself in there. And I think every player that was something, Jake. I think every player gets into that exact situation where you're like, I must do this, and then you just tense up and don't do what you have to do as a reactionary thing.
Right. And in that case, the game's like, you know what? I'm going to reward you for all the stuff you just went through so that if you hit an out lane, you're getting a chunk of change. If you hit either in lane, you're getting an extra ball or a chunk of change. So that's a really good comment you bring
Extra
up.
ball is on.
Thanks, Evan. I enjoy being told that I have really good comments.
That was a nice save.
That was a nice save.
Oh, don't do that.
Well, that was good patience. I would have probably tried something different, and it might not have gone as well.
So either saucer would light that extra
Go!
ball. Got it.
Okay, extra ball's lit. Nothing could possibly go wrong.
Yeah, it's on the wrong side now.
Oh, it's fine. Just shoot it directly into that.
Just shats it.
Just, tap it up in the air like you did last time. And
Yeah.
Right up and over.
right,
You got it.
right up over and into the outlet.
Rainbow. Prove us wrong that it's not shatsable.
Oh, look at that
this.
tap pass.
Oh, no!
Oh, no. There's such a nice tap pass, too. Oh, good game, Jake.
447. Excellent score.
Wow. Well, Dan.
Well,
Well-
I've just realised that your bonus starts at 10,000, so in total I've scored like
I just realized
200 points in this whole game.
Oh, no, it's much better than that, man. You actually tilted.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're fine.
All right.
crikeys. I just realized he sounds nothing like Steve Irwin.
No, not at all.
No, because I'm not Australian.
I mean, technically, Australians were British.
So are you. That might be the best comment ever on PAPAtv.
You heard it here, folks. First, folks. So we'd like to thank our final sponsor of the evening, Comet Pinball. Comet Pinball has the largest selection of lighting products for your pinball machines. LEDs can brighten up your game while reducing heat and power consumption. Whether you're a collector, operator, restorer, or mod maker, you'll always find low prices, fast shipping, and great service with Comet Pinball. You can find more information about them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at those respective website names /Comet Pinball. So we'd like to thank you guys for joining us here on PAPAtv Live. James, it was a great evening for some pinball. Did you have fun tonight?
I had a lot of fun.
Evan?
Oh, I had a blast.
So
Evan, it's a great T-shirt.
Holy smokes, it is. We're twinsies.
So I am a Replay FX sandwich right now, and I am the bologna. So thank you for joining us. Our next broadcast will be in Cleveland, broadcasting final coverage of the Cleveland Pinball Festival. So enjoy your time, happy flipping, and have a good time. We'll see you in Cleveland.
Good night.
Good night.